Hey man, what's up, y'all? What up, what up? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever y'all may be around the world. What's up, Fortnite Pro Guy? What's up? Blazing Raven, what up, what up? We got Black Cat. It means what? Have a life. Okay, what's up, what's up? He said, ha, a piano. This ain't a piano. You don't know what you're looking at? You don't know what you're looking at, dog? This ain't no piano. It's got keys, yeah, but this ain't no piano. What's up, Marston? Welcome back. I remember you from last night. What up? We're gonna start the stream with a little, a little beat that I made last night. Some of you guys are here for that stream, but in case you weren't, man, I'm gonna let y'all check it out. Alright? We made this mug last night, man. Last night. Alright, let's get it. Hit that like button on the way in, y'all. Double tap the screen, subscribe to the channel, alright? right there. Yeah, some I made last night. I made that on the stream. Made that on the live stream, you know. Let's see who we got up in the chat, man. Black Cat said, excited about this. Got the popcorn out. What's up, Simon? What up, what up? She said, good to see you back. Likewise. Good to see you, Simon. Black Cat said, shh, he's playing. Listen to the beats. Yeah, what y'all think of that though, man? Was it cool? Was it alright? Was it alright? I appreciate y'all being here, man. But yeah, hit that like button for me, alright? Hit the like button, double tap the screen. And if you see this button right here too, hit it today and get out your way, okay? Subscribe to the channel today, man. Let's make it happen. What's up, buddy? What up, what up? You just missed the beat. You just missed the beat, but that's okay. You can rewind it, you know, we'll go back. I don't know if I'm gonna do like a whole lot of production this stream, you know, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. For now, let's check this one out. We're gonna move it on to the next song. Appreciate that, Black Cat. Thank you, man. All right, let's see. Simon said your beats are lit today. Thank you. Appreciate that. All right, let's check this out. Black Cat. Have a good night, man. I appreciate you. I'll see you next time. Well, something I threw together last night, man. It's different kind of track, very syncopated, very has like an interesting kind of beat to it. You know what I mean? So that one's a rough draft. Kind of just threw that together within like, I don't know, an hour or something like that. But yeah, there we go with that one. This one right here is a little bit different. Very simple. But I made this tune last night on live stream as well, alright? So if you guys are here, y'all saw it. But if not, I'm going to let y'all check it out. But first, we got to get the likes up on the video. Alright, we got to get the likes up. Bunny said I heard a gun being cocked. Yeah, it's a little sound effect that I use. It's actually supposed to be a snare, but I kind of like clipped it up and did stuff with it, you know? But yeah, yo, we're going to pause for the cause, man. Let's get the likes up on the video, alright? Appreciate that, y'all. Appreciate that. Yeah, just double tap the screen, man. Double tap that screen. If you know what I mean, double tap that screen. All right, let's see. We're gonna play this, and I'm sure there's a bunch of stuff I can add to this, but you know, I'm gonna leave it the way it is for now. Okay? Let's go ahead and play it. simple tune. Real simple, man. Hella simple. Hella damn simple. Well, let's see. We can go back to this for a minute. Bunny said, man, I had the best sleep last night. I fell asleep to your stream. Yeah, you know what? It's funny about that. When I was streaming last night, out of nowhere, that shit just cut off. Like I was playing. I didn't even get to say an outro for the stream or nothing, man. I was just playing, and out of nowhere, just internet cut off, everything. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? So, you know, we didn't get to properly end that stream, and then after that, after a little while, I came on back with some music. But yeah, we're gonna do the game thing today for sure. You know what I mean? I'm in the mood to play a game. You know what I mean? Do the game stream. But hold on one sec, y'all. Let's check the likes. We have 5 likes. Come on, y'all. Double tap that screen, man. We're gonna pause for the cause. All right, appreciate that like on the video. All right, you guys ready to check this out, man? We had a lot to this, a whole lot to this. Anyway, let's check it out. Now, some of you guys heard this as well, maybe, you know, within the last few days. But this is by far probably one of my favorite tracks I made recently. But you'll see why. You'll see why. You guys might like it too. Who knows? We'll see. There we go, dog. There we go. There we go. Welcome back, Lori. Welcome back to the show. You said, "Hey, bro, play this Thinking About." You missed it, man. I already played that. Already played that. You just missed it. I don't know, like maybe 10 minutes ago, something like that. But look, y'all, double tap that screen for me. All right. We got about, let's see, 8 likes on the video. We need to definitely hit more than that. We need to get to about 10 likes, okay? So double tap that screen. Hit this button right here too if you see it, okay? Get that mug out your way. Get that mug out your way. Hit it today, okay? Lori said that's all right. How you doing today? I'm doing well. How you doing, Lori? I appreciate you asking. I really appreciate that. But yeah, y'all, we're going to pause for the calls right quick, all right? I'll give y'all a minute. Let's get the likes up. Come on. I don't know why, but today feels like a jazz day a little bit. Kind of has that jazz vibe. It's raining outside, you know, it's all gray skies and whatnot. So it definitely has that kind of vibe. At least for me, you know. It's probably, I'm sure the weather's different wherever y'all are. But let's see, Laura said good, it's beautiful out here. See what I mean? He said it looks nice out there, huh? He said you got sunshine on your end? Nah. Nope. Nope. Gray skies. But at least it's not hot. You know what I mean? I'm happy about that. It's not super hot outside. It's like, it's alright. You know? You say you love it being in rain, cozy vibes. Yeah, it definitely has that vibe to it. Most definitely. So I think this song kind of fit the mood. Alright, so let's check it out. There we go, man. There we go with that one. There we go. And with this weather being the way it is, man, got me all stopped up and shit. Let's see. Lori said, I was kind of peeping out on the screen. I, I like your commentary. That's what's up. You said it makes my little head bop from side to side. You said if I was a cartoon character, I would want this to be my city walking music. That's what's up. I love to hear stuff like that, man. Cause look, I know not everybody's gonna like my music, right? Not every song is for everybody. But when I get kind of feedback like that, I think that's pretty awesome. So I appreciate you, Lori. You said, "Ooh, I like that little noise. It sounds like a straw with reverb." Okay, you said this sounds like an adventure for real. Yeah, that's definitely the vibe, man. A lot of my music is not necessarily in what beat format to be rapped on and shit, to be sang on, I guess. Just the way I construct it. I try to, since it is an instrumental, I try to make it have a flow to it, something that you want to listen to and keep seeing what's next rather than just like background to some vocals. But there's some good beats out there. There's some good ass beats out there that are just good as an instrumental. But that's definitely my intention. But yo, we got Axe in the chat. Lori said vibing heavy. That's what's up. And she said, Axe, have you liked the stream yet? I'll give a high five. Yeah, come on, y'all. Double tap that screen, man. Let's get to where we at now. Let's get to about 12 likes, all right? Go keep the show going if y'all would like. But you got to like the video to do so, all right? So I'll give y'all a minute to do that. Let's get them up. I'm gonna play you guys something and we're gonna wrap up the show. If we can get the likes to 12, we can keep it going. Other than that, man, we're gonna wrap it up with this, alright? We're gonna wrap it up with this if we can't get the likes, dog, and then we're gonna hop on the game stream if that's what y'all wanna do. If that's what y'all wanna do, man, come through for that. And we can do that, alright? We can make it happen. Hold on one second. Yeah, that last track, I like that one a lot. It's pretty good. But like Lori said too, she said, I can see your music. Imagine your beats being really nice with a harp player. That'd be kind of tight. You know, I'm sure they have like a harp instrument on here, like a harp VST I could use. But you know, even out the like 9 months I've had this machine, man, I haven't used half the shit that's on here. You understand what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of stuff on this MPC, and even stuff that I bought additionally on top of what I already had. You know, like if we go back to the plugins, this one right here comes with it. That one right there, that one. These, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 come with the machine. All right, but the OPX4, Mini D, Jura, and Stage Piano, I bought those. So, I mean, there's lots of sounds you could use. I'm sure there's a harp. I'm sure there's a bunch of different shit on here that I haven't used before. But, yeah. Anyway, double tap the screen for me. Y'all like the video. Sub to the channel. Hit that button right there if you see it, okay? And get that mug out your way. Subscribe today. Let's get it, y'all. Let me see what it sounds like this. Hold on. Cool, man. Cool. Cool. Where we at with the likes though? Let's see. Let's see. Oh man, we still sitting at 9. That's crazy. Well, in that case, it's time to go. It's time to end the show. Okay. But still hit the like on the video on the way out. Subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't already. All right. I'll be back at some point, probably sooner than later with the game stream kind of thing. All right. We're gonna go over there and we're gonna kick it. We're gonna go over there and kick it, hang out for a little bit. But for now, it is time to go. It is time to end the show. All right. But definitely become a member of the channel. All right. We got a lot of streams over there where we make beats from scratch, just like that. Okay. So we didn't do it today. The stream will be free for the public. This one in particular, but excuse me. There's a whole lot of other streams, man. A whole lot of beats being made from scratch. Right from the batch, right from the drum packs and all that. So yeah, definitely become a member of the channel. But other than that, whether I see y'all here later or not, whether y'all come on back through or not for a few with the game stream kind of thing, I still hope you all, even the ones in the back of the chat that never be typing nothing, I still hope y'all all have a great rest of your morning, evening, noon, or night. All right. Whatever time it is, wherever y'all may be around the world. Appreciate all y'all once again. Until next time, y'all. Peace out.